Alright, welcome back to Cosmic Reach Community Roundup. It's been a while. This is for the 2nd of July all the way through the 30th of July. On July 2nd, Cosmic Reach 0.1.39 came out, which fixed some of the bugs that I mentioned in the previous Community Roundup video, namely the one with the coconuts despawning after some time has passed instead of growing into trees, and then also the leaf blocks growing into trees. So before these were backwards, and now they're correct. We then got Cosmic Reach 0.1.40 on June 12th, which mainly added blocks now drop as items, and a new block event, which is item_drop, which is good for modders, along with some nice utility features like the pick block function now grabbing a block in its correct state. So for example, if a stair block is facing towards the west or the east or upside down or something like that, it'll take that into account. And now stairs and vertical slabs are based on camera orientation rather than raycast position. So this just makes it more intuitive to place directional blocks in a certain orientation. Cosmic Reach 0.1.41 came out on July 23rd. There's a few interesting things here. The first one is that the currently selected item is now shown in your right hand. So that's kind of the heads-up display, so to speak. Stars now rotate in the dynamic sky, and gravity is stronger. The player now is less floaty. This is something that I complained about in my very first video on this channel about this game, that the gravity felt a little bit floaty as if you're on the moon. And technically you are on the moon, but I don't think that was intentional. And we'll see very soon that it does feel better, in my opinion. We then had a little bug fix on the same day, on the 23rd. And then on the 27th, Cosmic Reach 0.1.43 came out. This is mostly some fixes and small tweaks, and then we also have added commands, notably no clip and summon, which I haven't tried yet, so we'll try that in a minute. Additionally, a new devlog was posted on Final for Reach's YouTube channel. Now, before I show any of that, I do want to go over some of the community content first, which is something that I don't normally do, but I just thought I'd do it to shake things up a little bit. So this one was posted on June 10th of 2024. I missed it during the last video, but I did want to talk about it because it was pretty impressive. This is a concept for a hostile mob by the Duckman, an interesting humanoid enemy with kind of a VR headset looking thing attached to his face. And then here's a picture of it without the VR headset. On July 3rd, this was posted by Kaloob, which says, after nearly 2 months of not touching the thing, I've finally updated the suggestions master list. I haven't showed this off before, but this is a master list of a bunch of Cosmic Reach suggestions that you see in the suggestions channel over here on the left. You can see it's a Google Sheets, and down here at the bottom you can click between the different sheets. So we have some statistics, some rankings for the highest voted suggestions, and then a big table with all the information in it. So if you're interested in looking at any of this and seeing what most people are interested or what has the most reactions or anything like that, in the screenshots channel we have a very simple build of an evergreen tree, which I don't know, I thought it was simple and I kind of liked it just because of the simplicity. In the game discussion channel on July 18th, Titan X posted this, which is a physical build, a physical model of the Interceptor, which is the first mob in the game. So it's actually something that's sitting on his desk next to an Uno card right here. I thought this was really cool. I did not expect anyone to make something like this. This is kind of like a merchandise kind of thing, but really cool. I think this was well done. And yeah, I don't think anybody saw something like this coming. Here's another screenshot with a gold block, a gold stair, a gold slab, and here it is from another angle. I like the palette on this a lot. It does feel like that soft gold texture, so good work with this one. In the Worlds channel, we have a Skyblock map, which you can see a picture of right here. So it's just like Skyblock on Minecraft. You have a crate here with some supplies, a tree, and then a big block of dirt and grass. And he's got some rules listed out up here and some goals listed out right here. So if you're interested in trying that, go ahead and give this a download. Secondly, we have an exploratory map by the Hexover that says the rich live here, rules don't use no clip, don't fall. And the goal is simply to explore the city. And it's good to see new worlds popping up. We haven't had too many custom maps come out recently. I'm always hoping for more parkour maps. I enjoy doing those a lot, and I think we'll be seeing more custom maps as time moves on and the game gets more updated. Alright, so we had a bunch of those updates come out recently, and this is my first time in the game in a couple weeks. I spawned in a new world with Nostalgic Islands World Generation. I turned off the Interceptor mob, and the first thing that happened is I spawned right here, and I hit F4 to go into no clip, and I got stuck in the block. And my screen started jittering like crazy, and then I broke the bottom 2 blocks. That still didn't help. And then eventually I was able to escape. But when I did escape, I was trying to fly around, but nothing would happen. And then after some time, maybe about 10 seconds, I teleported. all the way up to maybe right here. So no idea what was going on there. That's why those blocks, that's why that block is broken right there, and there's some water missing. The next thing I noticed is that there are some glass textures up here, but it's only one face of the block. So really not sure what's going on with that. And then we also have some glass over there. So yeah, no idea. Oh, it looks like we actually have the side of the glass right there. Oh, you know what? Actually, So I guess this is just a rendering issue, because we have some sides of the glass showing and then other sides are not showing. And again, this is a new world that I just generated. And we're currently on version 0.1.43, just for sake of documenting that. But let's go ahead and check out that new feature where we hold something in our hand. So if I spawn a crate, you can see it pops up on the right side of the screen. Just like in Minecraft or any other first-person game where you're holding something, you'd kind of expect that to happen. If I right-click, you can see I kind of hammer the block forward with my hand. You can't actually see my hand. It would be nice to see that in the future. I do know that a player model is being worked on, that Saturn model, unofficially named. And if we look in here and we spawn some glass stairs, and then we put those glass stairs inside and we break the crate, the items do fall out now. They didn't used to do that before. And we can go ahead and pick them up as well. Next up, I want to try actually growing a tree, because last time I did this, it didn't work. So let me put one right here and see what happens. And there it is! Alright, that's the first tree that I've seen actually grow. And it took about 3 minutes, I think. I think I started this at 9:17 p.m. and it's now 9:20, so I guess maybe 4 minutes, 9:21 p.m. What a beautiful tree, and what a beautiful sunset as well. Elegant beauty. If only that glass wasn't randomly in the sky and down by the water, then it'd be even better. Now I also hear that there is leaf decay, so let me go ahead and destroy these logs. You can actually already see... Oh, is that a leaf right there, or is that a log? No, that was a log. So let's see if these leaves decay after not being connected to any logs. Oh yeah, they're starting to decay. So there you go, you have leaf decay as well, which is something that I wasn't able to test last time around, or I just forgot to test last time around. I also hear that the stars are supposed to spin on dynamic sky, so if we look up, you can see that they are indeed spinning. You might not be able to see that on the video, but they are definitely spinning. And last thing I want to test here is the movement. So when I jump, you can see that it's kind of hard to tell based on the video. You kind of have to feel it, but you definitely fall faster, as in you don't float in the air for as long when you're walking and jumping. I think this does feel better. It feels more natural. The problem I see is that when I start sprinting, it doesn't really feel like I speed up much. So if you look at the blocks on my left-hand side right here, these grass blocks, and I start walking forward, that's the speed at which they pass. And then if I turn around and I sprint instead, it doesn't feel like there's a huge difference in the speed. And so when I hit the left control button on my keyboard, as I'm walking forward and then I start sprinting, it kind of just feels like my FOV increases because the sprinting starts, but my speed hardly increases at all. And maybe it does, maybe it's just a bit of an optical illusion, but I think the sprinting speed should be increased a little bit, but that's just me. I wonder what other people think about it. And there's that glass again. It's got some yellow lighting on it, so I have no idea why. But anyway, I think that's all I wanted to show off for these updates. So last thing I want to show is the video that's Final 4H uploaded to his YouTube channel. The first thing he talks about is serializing item data, which means on the left here, you have the JSON text that constitutes an item, or you have JSON text that also constitute blocks or a lot of other things in the game. And it's important to be able to serialize that data, which means that you turn this data into basically a byte array that you can easily send over a network or something else for efficiency's sake. So for example, you have the text on the left, which is human readable, and then you can serialize this data into a byte array, which is what the image on the right is showing. And so the current use case for this is saving items in a crate. So if you put items into a crate, you want them to save when you leave the game and then re-enter the game. Near the end of the video, he mentions considering oxygen and a pressure system over a hunger or thirst system. And this is something something I've talked about on the Discord, and we've had some conversations about with hunger systems being in video games and mostly just serving to be more of a burden than anything else and kind of an anti-fun feature. It seems like a lot of game developers will put hunger into their game just as a status quo kind of thing, instead of thinking about what actually makes the game fun and what features people really want. In games like Don't Starve or something like that, hunger and thirst do make sense, since that's kind of the basis of the game. But in a lot of games, hunger kind of just feels like an obstacle that gets in the way of exploring, or, for example, if you think about in Minecraft, so think about exploring a cave system and you're deep in the cave, and then all of a sudden you run out of steak, and you have nothing to eat. Then you have to leave your adventure, go all the way back to your base, get some more food, or maybe eat zombie flesh or something like that. So at least in my opinion, it is kind of an anti-fun feature, and it would be nice to see something different implemented that may have the same kind of urgency. So in my opinion, if hunger is to be added to this game, perhaps it would be better off as just kind of a buff system, or some kind of healing system, or something like that, rather than something that needs to always be checked by the player every minute of the game to see if you have enough hunger. And it sounds like his current plan for the basic survival system, what needs to be done still is a crafting system, ores, tools, and a way to restore HP. Which sounds like a reasonable roadmap to me, and then after that it sounds like world generation and the multiplayer system. Obviously plans change all the time, but that looks like the current roadmap. And returning back to the game, one thing I forgot to mention is that we have these commands now. So if you type in T on the keyboard, it opens up this chat menu, and then you can type /help to get some help, and it looks like we have /summon, /noclip, and /help. So I typed in /noclip, and I was able to get in the no-clip mode. Otherwise, you can just use F4 for that. You can use /summon for summoning an entity, and then we can also just type whatever. So we can type tortellini soup, and then hit enter. And you can see in the chat at the bottom left, it'll say tortellini soup, and then it'll go away after a certain amount of time, slowly fade out of existence, very slowly, and there it goes. And that's it for today, so thank you very much for watching.